7 as we welcome you inside Ball Arena. Christina Pink, Jim Jackson, and, well, not the result we were hoping for. This game really turned in the second quarter. The Nuggets did a lot of damage in the fast break and transition, and it seemed like the Clippers really couldn't recover.
First of all, you got to give a lot of credit and respect due to a championship team, which is the Denver Nuggets. The core of that group are still together. They miss a couple pieces like KCP, but the core that wanted are there. So they dug a little bit deeper. The energy in that second quarter, they took the hit from the Clippers, but it only knocked them back a little bit. It didn't knock them down, and they responded from that. And once the ball was rolling, there was no stopping. But I will say this, and I said this during the course of the game, yes, Denver played well, but they took advantage of a lot of the miscues, a lot of the mistakes, a lot of lack of effort plays at times that the Clippers made, and that's what championships do, teams do. They make you pay when you make mistakes.
Yeah, it seemed like the Clippers were lacking a little life, you know, the energy, maybe some fatigue set in. These guys have been playing a lot of minutes. They've been battling, trying to secure this series. Now, we talk about Denver capitalizing on miscues, a lot of that coming for them from beyond the arc, taking some of these Clippers mistakes, and they were rolling, knocking down 10 3-pointers in the game. So, Jim, what did you see here as why the Denver Nuggets were able to get on a roll from long range?
A lot of plays that happen within the Clippers, and not just in this game, have been miscommunication. Okay, you talk about what defensive adjustments do you need to make. To me, more so it's execute your defensive plan. And when you do that, at least you have the guidance to disrupt some offense. A lot of the three-point shots came off miscommunication. That was created, once again, by the Clippers. And when you have wide-open shots, you're able to knock them in. So if you look at the number of shots that were taken and made for Denver, a lot of them were wide open. And again, it goes back to, I think, the lack of defensive discipline, not talking early and often, allowing a team like Denver to find their rhythm and range at home. You start knocking in those threes, the crowd gets involved. It's tough.
Yeah, it is really tough to, especially when you're on the road, you're trying to fight to keep your season alive. And Denver, all season long, great in the paint, great in transition, and we saw that tonight as well. They had 24 fast break points. So those can be momentum-changing plays, and it certainly felt like it. Some of them felt like back-breaking plays because it's hard to get back in transition and hard to slow these guys down.
Yeah, really, but they were the top fast-breaking team all season.
Yep.
I thought the Clippers did a really good job throughout this series of limiting that. Actually, we had more transition plays go through the course of this series. But in this particular game, when we missed, we turned it over, this team was out and running. A shot went up in the corner. We didn't get back in transition to give it up. Those are momentum type of plays. In particular, the way the Clippers started in the first quarter defensively, when they were kind of up into the Nuggets, made it tougher for them to score. But then you turn around in the second and you start giving up layups. Guess what? Your half-court offense begins to find a little bit rhythm. And once that, that faucet is open and turned on, it's hard to shut it off.
Well, the Clippers did get off to a good start in the first quarter. Today they make a lineup change. They insert Derrick Jones Jr. into the starting lineup. He had 12 points. He played as hard as he could. Obviously, it resulted in a losing effort, but certainly a bright spot for the team tonight. How was he able to come out there and give them some juice?
Well, length and athleticism. I thought the move was critical because he was able to defend Jamal Murray one-on-one. If he got switched inside, he could still do it. But he scored on the offensive end because he was going to be a benefactor of all of the coverages for James and also Kawhi. So I thought it was a great move at the beginning. I mean, kudos to Derrick Jones Jr. being ready to play, okay? Not just from a defensive end, but when the shot was available or made available, he was able to step up big time and knock it in. You see the block right there. That's where he can make his hay right there, is on the defensive end of the court. He did an excellent job in the first quarter. You see where his shots came from. You'll see it in the shot chart. At the rim, and he had out there in the three-point shot, but 10 shots came because he made himself available, but more importantly, Christian, like you said, he was ready to play.
Yeah, Derrick Jones Jr. stays ready, certainly answering the moment, coming out, helping the Clippers get off to a good start before things started to slow down. Now, in a few moments, we'll be hearing from Nuggets head coach David Adelman. So before we get to him, I mean, congratulations to him, because this is a guy who took over the starting job with 3 games left in the season. His first ever playoffs, and now getting his first ever playoff series win. Here he is at the podium.
Gritty energy defensively. Shot making doesn't come every night. We kind of had that too from a lot of different people. Very underrated thing. The end of Game 6, Christian made a couple threes late, and you lose that game. And you say, those weren't big shots. But for him, they were. And you saw the rhythm was better. 8 for 15, 3 for 5 from 3. Just complete team win. Aaron Gordon, 9 for 16, playing through contact in the paint. Russ, obviously the energy he brought. Peyton Watson, DeAndre Jordan. I mean, everybody brought something. And when you do that, you know that your two best players eventually are going to get going after a tough start. And they did. And Jamal's shot making there to kind of keep the lead where it was at, obviously, withstood any kind of run they were going to make. So really proud of the guys. Crazy series. Fun to win it.
Yeah, could you just elaborate on that? Because as close as this was going the full game, 7 games, how rewarding, how good does it feel to come out with the 4th win?
I mean, it feels good, but I also know that we're flying to OKC tomorrow. This was not the championship, so I'm sure it kind of felt like it to fans, on both sides because the series was so insane and the ups and downs were so crazy. It's one of those series you won't forget that you were a part of. But yeah, and I thought, we junked it up a little bit, and you can say, oh, you junked it up, and that's why it worked. Anytime you junk something up, the activity with junking it up is what works. And when we zoned, cross-matched, all those things, I thought our activity with our hands, the way we covered for each other, which we talked about before the game, was just incredible throughout the night up until the last 6 minutes. So just an awesome win. I said this before the playoff series. The last 3 games we won in the regular season, to give ourselves a chance to be in this building for this kind of game is a huge deal. And we've won a lot of big games here, and we've had some heartache here. We've been through a lot here. There's a lot of experience in that room, so just very proud of the overall team effort.
Yeah, he mentioned the heartache. They lost against Minnesota last year in the playoffs. They get the Game 7 win tonight. Anything stick out about what Coach Adelman said there at the press conference?
He talked about his team and the experience. Not a lot of pressure. The adjustments that he made in the second quarter to go to zone and stayed with it. A lot of times he kind of used that as a quick fix situation to throw a team off, but it worked so well the Clippers really didn't make the adjustment to it. And you give him a lot of credit for this. Listen, he came into a situation, I don't know if the expectations were as high for Denver to win it, but you expect them to win. So is there pressure? Yes, but the pressure is made less when you have those guys in the locker room that you can lean on. And that's something that I think he leaned into as the season ended and he went into the playoffs. He listened to his players. He allowed them to voice their opinions, and he adjusted when he needed to.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic, universally known from every team, every player in the NBA as the best player.